welcome to episode 106 of the
106? I put 5 fingers up.
I saw you
because before the episode, you went 5, and I was like, okay, I'll put 5 fingers up. Let's do it again. Hello and welcome
to episode 106 of the
Eldritch
Podblast. I'm Margaret.
I'm Jack.
And hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
How we doing? What you up to?
What you eating?
The entity allows you to live another day, I see.
I see.
At the behest of the entity, but you know, the joy of us.
Yes.
Yes.
The entity,
I'm glad you're still here.
Maybe the entity has masters.
The entity has grander plans for you, it would appear.
The entity has to answer to somebody.
Yes, true. Has to. Oh my God! What? So you're saying the entity answers to you?
Yeah.
Damn.
And you.
And me?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
We created the entity by manifestation, you see.
I see. We created a tulpa.
Yes.
Yeah, understood. I see. Yeah, well, hey, if you like the entity, you can wear them on a t-shirt.
You sure can. You absolutely can.
I'm not wearing it. But,
no, you're not. You're wearing my hoodie, and I'm wearing yours.
Yeah, we swapped hoodies.
Critical Role hoodie.
Because that's...
I do like this hoodie.
I love that hoodie.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's big and comfy and cozy.
Yeah.
And so is this hoodie.
Wow, www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and pick up some new merch.
Yes, if you didn't know, we just dropped 2 new merch pieces. We dropped the entity t-shirt and we dropped the logo hoodie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who placed an order. Oh my God, we were supposed to mention this in last episode. Oh my God, the nightmare that we had with PayPal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, boycott PayPal. Everyone. Never use PayPal ever again.
Entity make them boycott PayPal.
Because they are actually the worst people on earth.
Yeah,
who think it's acceptable to keep people's money with absolutely no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
And when you ask for it, what they do instead is permanently ban your account.
Yeah, oh my God, twice.
So we've got the money out of there now.
Yeah, well,
from absolutely zero help from any of them.
Well, just so you know, what happened was, thank you so much to everyone who did purchase a t-shirt and a hoodie. Just so you know, the PayPal thing is sorted now. It's no problem. But anyone who ordered them on the day that we announced them, which like a lot of you did, so thank you. Anyone who paid with PayPal, it went into our business PayPal account as it should. I can't remember what I was saying. Sorry.
You said right. You said it goes into our business PayPal, right? We had to cover the dog.
Sorry.
It went into our business PayPal, right?
Yeah.
Of course it would, because, you know...
It's a business.
It's a business. And also, when we first set up the PayPal in May, when we launched our first ever merch, I put it in my name. And then they were like, no,
you have to put it in the business name.
It has to be the Eldritch Podblast.
Yeah, so we were like, understood. That makes sense, of course.
We'll do that. So we did that. And, you know, everything was fine and dandy. People had ordered t-shirts after that and everything was great. And then we launched our new merch and obviously there's like a spike in money, an influx in money.
Yeah.
And they obviously then limited our account.
Yeah.
Put a limitation on our account being like, this is potential fraudulent activity.
Yeah. Well, and the reason it matters is because we don't hold any stock. We then have to place orders with our manufacturers to then ship them out to you, basically. Yeah. So
and they limited our account.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how do I get this limitation taken off my account? Because I want to buy these products for the people who've bought. And they were like, what you're gonna do is upload.
You gotta change your name back to Jack.
You've got to change your name back to Jack. So I tried to do that, and they were like, your account's permanently banned because this is fraud.
Yeah,
and
it was so annoying. It was basically, and I'm sure you've all had this with customer service. Like, one person tells you to do something, and then you do it, and then the next person looks at it and they're like, "Oh, that's not right."
That's not right.
And
You
then,
shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you're just getting completely mixed signals. Anyway, all of that to say, it's all sorted out now.
Yeah.
So we're so sorry that you had to wait a little bit longer than honestly you would have.
Yeah.
Because normally what we do is we wait for the money to transfer, which takes like, I don't know, like 5 business days, very, very, very maximum. Normally the next day.
Yeah.
Right?
We purchase it.
Yeah.
They produce it and it gets shipped out here.
Yeah. So I'm so sorry if you've had any extra, like no one said anything, which we appreciate, but just know, it wouldn't have normally taken that long.
No, it wouldn't normally take that long, and any t-shirts and any hoodies that have been bought have been processed
and
they're now being shipped to you.
They're all done. They're all out.
So you will be getting them very soon. And if you want to buy anything from this point on, you can still use PayPal because
it's all sorted.
We've got it sorted.
It's all sorted. We're not going to have any more issues with it again. It's all good. I can't believe we forgot to mention that on Monday.
Yeah, oh man.
Yeah, we talked about it on stream, and I think maybe that's why. Because literally it happened the day that we streamed.
Yes, it did.
So Yeah. There's a few things. There's a few things to go over. Before we go any further, the homebrew challenge. The homebrew challenge is back, baby.
Homebrew challenge is back. If you didn't catch it, check last episode.
Oh my god.
Check last episode for the Hope-themed monster.
Yeah.
There's a couple of changes, as we mentioned. It will now be, instead of Monday to Monday, the time frame to get your submissions in is Monday to Sunday.
Yes.
Because on Sunday, we're going to be reviewing them all on stream. We're going to be picking a winner on stream, and then it'll be announced. The winner will be announced on the podcast.
Yes.
So get your submissions in now. Join the Discord.
Indeed. Yep. And if you want to know, like, kind of what the changes are, please just check out last video. Or, to be honest, I'll probably put up a post in the challenge discussion, just kind of outlining the new changes.
There's
for anyone
really
in
only
writing. Yeah.
a few changes.
Yeah. I would like to get onto some fan art.
Some fan art. Some Blythe-themed fan art.
Some fan art. You've been absolutely spoiling me. I'm not going to lie. So if you don't know, we started a new campaign.
Yeah.
We do campaign updates every Wednesday.
So you saw one last night?
Yes, you saw one last night. And if you want to catch the campaign updates live, we do them on stream every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, don't worry, the VOD goes up on this channel every Wednesday. And Blythe, my new character, I don't know why. Some of you are just going absolutely feral for it. Paris, you're going absolutely feral for
I think she's very cool.
I think she's very cool as well.
Especially, you know, the fan art that we got done of her, like the one that is like shown everywhere, like on stream and stuff like that, is very good.
Oh, the commission.
Yes.
And this is her. This is she. If you don't know her, the artist is Rowan Tor on Instagram. I will of course leave links below and to everyone as well. So this is the commission I got of Blythe. I just think she looks cool. I think she's just a cool looking character, and the artist I worked with really worked very hard on making her look as badass as she is.
Yeah.
So I would like to start the fan art. I'm trying to go chronologically, but they've pasted into the document weird, so I can't remember chronologically what it is.
You know when you paste images into like a Word document and it like boom, and then the text like it's like a thin bit down the left, and then there's like a little thing over here.
Yeah, it's kind of done that. But this one, and this is a work in progress from Sherry.
This is Sherry's.
Damn, look.
Cool, isn't it?
It's the fiery crown, which again, like,
and the fiery tears,
and the fiery tears. Don't get me wrong.
I do be liking the fiery tears.
I do be liking the fiery tears, and it's the way that she's incorporated the necklace as well, and then the ring too. I love that. I just think, oh my god.
And she looks like she's about to murder you.
Yeah, which listen, yeah.
You like look at it and you go,
entity, make them go. She's beautiful, and like the detail work on the feathers, man. Sherry, I can't imagine how long it took you to do all of those millions of feathers. But listen, that by itself, I know it's a work in progress. That
awesome.
Oh my god, finished piece of artwork to me, as far as I'm concerned. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like if and when it gets finished. So thank you so much, Sherry. Sherry is one of our mods.
Sherry's one of our mods. Thank you very much, Sherry.
Thank you so much, Sherry. And from another mod, from Barris, who once again is going, no.
Oh,
no.
You swore.
I swore. Absolutely feral for Blythe is I'll show you this one first. Oh my goodness, a really cool little headshot of her. Oh my god, you got the flames in the background, you got the top of the capelet, you got her looking cool as hell.
I'm trying to note down the fact that you swore and now the fan art.
But really, the main piece of art comes from this version of it. The sad clown version of Blythe.
Sad clown.
Again, we have a joke that because she's the bad and she's really sad, we have a joke that she's the sad clown.
No.
And we just made an offhand comment being like, man, we need to get some out of her looking like with the traditional sad clown makeup. And if Paris didn't deliver, I don't know who did.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paris. This is now
an emote on Twitch.
This is an emote on Twitch. We should make them on Discord too.
We should, yeah.
Yeah, I should make them emotes on Discord as well. Sad clown Blythe.
Sad clown Blythe.
Goes without saying. Thank you so much, Paris.
Yes.
She looks, I'm not gonna swear.
Sad.
Cool as frick. Oh, she looks sad.
She looks sad.
She looks sad.
Sad. Yeah.
She looks sad TM. Sad clown TM.
Sad clown TM.
Yeah. This next one, right. If you watched our live stream last Friday, you will have seen me revealing this piece of art and the embarrassment that came afterwards. I would like to thank Yokelabductee so much for this absolutely beautiful rendering of Blythe's pendant.
Yes.
Like the necklace. Again, it was just
3D model of the necklace.
It's first of all, don't know how you did that.
I don't know anybody does things like that, like 3D modeling,
I know.
3D printing.
Yeah,
it's just
I
like
know.
all the numbers and like the programs that you have to use to do it just bamboozle my mind.
Agreed. Words fail me. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you got it to look so much like her original necklace.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely beautiful. And hey, are you sat here being, because they said, hey, I'm gonna do the ring as well. Can everyone point to the ring?
I think everyone will be able to point to the ring.
Because
I think everyone will be able to point to the ring as it sits very clearly at the base. The ring on the ring holder.
Yeah.
Like the felt ring holder.
Yeah.
So what did you think was the ring, Margaret?
I thought they'd done a very smart thing and they'd combined the ring and the necklace. So I thought the bit holding the necklace,
the thing with the chain attaches
like the
to,
eyelet,
the
I
circle.
thought that was the ring.
Margaret was like, man, it's so clever that you connected the ring to the
They were
top.
like,
everyone was like,
what? What?
What?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
The ring's down there.
The ring's
at the bottom.
there. Listen, I thought the ring was like a set dressing, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was like powder or something, like it was a container for like face powder, because I thought the ring holder, the green, like, which I have learned now is like a felt stub.
Yeah, like a felt stub that you put your rings on.
I thought that was like a powder puff sat in like a lid, and I just thought it was set dressing. So you know what? Terrible. I don't know if we even have that clip.
That was live in front of.
And that was live in front of like 70
live
people.
audience.
Yeah. So Yokel, all of that to say, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely gorgeous work. And
great work.
Sorry.
Fantastic work.
Sorry.
Very clear and concise work, Yokel, actually. Contradictory to what Margaret might be saying.
Yes.
Very clear and concise work. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And then these last two. Oh my God. You've all heard it. You've seen the toothless dance on TikTok. To Driftveil City from Pokemon Black and White, I think it is. Sherry was like, well, I need to do this. And she did. And Sherry made a Balthazar toothless.
Yes.
If you don't know, Balthazar is Blythe's companion. He has no mechanical benefits. He's just a cool little guy. And he's just a bit weird looking.
And a little strange looking.
Is this potentially my favorite thing I've ever seen? Maybe.
Potentially.
Is this also now an emote of him dancing? Yes.
Yes. Can you now spam it on Twitch?
Yes. Me thinks yes you can.
Me thinks yes. I think yes you can.
Me thinks you
I
can.
think if you ask me the question, the answer would be
me thinks yes. Me thinks yes. I love him. He's him.
Awesome.
I love him so much.
He's awesome, that's why.
I need to do something with him. I don't know what.
You've made him an emote and put him on Twitch.
I need more. I need to do more. I need to do more with him. I don't know what. More.
Tell us what to do with the dancing Twitch, the dancing toothless Balthazar.
And then finally, another one from Paris. I realize that this is Sherry and Paris for the most part.
Okay.
So grateful to have like such wonderful, caring mods in the first place, but who incredible artists and give a fuck about my characters. It's Blythe and Balthazar.
Having a little hug.
They're having a little hug.
Having a little cuddle.
Balthazar's having a really nice time.
They're having a hug and a cuddle.
Blythe's having a really nice time. I just love it. And again, it's wild how I say this every single time, how artists can look at the actual like reference images, and it surprises me every time I see her exactly the same in a different style of art, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Interpreted in a different way. Like a character that you thought up in your head.
Yes,
that somebody has brought to life that you use as a reference image, and then all other artists take that reference image and then like interpret it themselves.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
You know, like the whole like draw this in your style things.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't understand that at all. My brain can't compute how those things happen.
Because, I mean, you don't draw.
True. Yeah, true. I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist. To be fair. But I love this so much. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you all so much once again for bringing my character to life in ways that I never would have been able to without you guys.
Yes.
It's so special.
It's so great to see. It's so wonderful to see.
It feels so good. And again, anyone who has any fan art of Blythe will go on the podcast and will go on stream too.
Do you remember when we started the podcast and you were like, imagine if somebody drew Rayla?
Oh my god! And then Philippa literally drew Rayla like
on the other side of this wall. There is just like 2 of those like clipboards just hung up for stream that are just full of Rayla.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do the same with Blythe too.
I think we're probably not far off filling one up with Blythe's art already.
Gonna do the same with Blythe. We're gonna all the pieces of fan art. We're gonna print out, put on the wall, so your art can be on the wall and stream.
If you ever want to do any art of Blythe or anything like that, just feel free to share it in the Discord and it'll get put on to the video.
Yes.
And we'll give you a little shout out to thank you very much because you are amazing.
Thank you
Your art's so amazing, all of you.
Oh my god, so much so. So much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess that's kind of it. Bye.
See you later. Topic time, baby.
Yeah. Anything else before we get into topic?
Join us on Twitch on every Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. GMT.
Yep.
Come and hang out. Spam some toothless Balthazars in chat. We're doing some homebrew challenge stuff on Sundays. We're doing some character creations. We're doing some campaign updates. Some all sorts of just crazy good fun D&D stuff.
Yeah.
We can hang out and you can ask us questions. We can give you advice. It's a good time.
It is.
I'm going to say it now because I keep saying it at the end of the video and we feel like we should probably say it a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Like the video.
Yes. It means so much.
Subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below.
Yeah.
Hit the bell to be notified. Everything that you do helps the video reach more people, grows this community. We can all have a good time. We'll keep making videos. We're going to keep making videos anyway, but those help.
You have no idea how much genuinely throwing a like on the video and leaving a comment, it makes such a huge difference. So thank you to everyone who does. And thank you if you've considered doing so too.
Yeah. Just having you here is what we want.
Indeed.
So thank you.
Shall we get into it?
Yes.
All right.
Today's topic is...
All right. Oh my god, it's Unpopular Opinions.
Unpopular Opinions.
Unpopular D&D Opinions.
Unpopular D&D Opinions.
Yeah.
Opinions that you might think are popular. These are maybe hot takes or unpopular views on your popular choice.
Yes. So. And again, to preface this, just because if we disagree with it doesn't mean it's wrong, doesn't mean it's bad. No. It just is our own opinion, and the same applies to you. If you agree with any of these opinions and we don't, that's completely fine.
It's up to you.
What flies at your table and works for you. And
for a reason.
Don't listen to us. We're just 2 idiots on the internet.
2 silly sausages on the internet.
All right. Shall we get into it?
And send us your unpopular opinions in the link down below. We've got a Google form where you can send in your unpopular opinions.
Yeah, I think a few of these are 3 of these are submissions.
And the rest are pulled from the stinky Reddit.
Yeah, listen, I understand that submitting unpopular opinions is like a bit of a scary thing. Yeah. But if you have any, send them our way. They don't even have to be unpopular. They can just be your opinions.
Yeah.
We'll
give us your opinions about D&D and let's see what we think about them.
Yes. All right, this first one, this has been sent in by MB and he goes by he, they. We read out one of MB's in last episode in advice.
Was that a TJ?
No, MB, because Mike Bravo.
Ah, yes.
Thank you so much, MB.
Thank you very much.
Hello to you both. I have submitted many times before. Still trying to think of details for a short campaign I want to run in the Discord.
Yes.
And that is what we answered on Monday.
Yes.
Sorry, I have so much phlegm in my mouth. Give me a
Goes
sec.
it up. Goes it up live on air. Even though it's not live. It's recorded 5 days prior.
I can just edit this out.
No.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh my god. I need to blow my nose. I have makeup on my nose.
Just do it all over the mic.
Yeah, should I? wipe it on the pop shield. I had this hot take I have wanted to say for a while, and this is coming from a player perspective. I think players should have more moments of loss in D&D. And I don't mean like the DM should try and force them to lose, but if the party is having many wins, I would prefer being knocked down a peg by a seemingly impossible or hard challenge and then coming back around to the same challenge with my character being stronger or have a better understanding for what they're getting into. This thought stems from campaign 2 of Critical Role. Spoilers. Big spoilers for campaign 2.
Let me just do a little timey stamp.
Yep. Big spoilers. Skip ahead by like 5 minutes if you don't want to hear it.
I'll put those timestamps up on the screen.
Thank you. All right. When Molly dies, I recall they talked about having their group gotten too used to having too many wins or coming out hardly harmed from biting off more than they could chew. this was their punishment for that, and they came back later with a better plan in place and semi-stronger than before and more prepared. And this recently happened in Campaign 3 with them going to the moon. Consider it a pattern. Win, win, big win, loss, big loss. Regroup, get stronger or smarter, and then the loss becomes a massive win. This is because I think people are too scared to have some loss when they play. I think this could work and allow for players to not get stuck in a pattern of play or get bored. The level of loss will depend on the table, but I would love to see this more. I agree.
So there's so many examples of this. And I'll tell you what happened with the whole like campaign 2, campaign sort of that sort of thing. A lot of people found it that in campaign 1, because the campaign starts when they're like level 8 or level 9, they're already like quite high level. They end the campaign at like level 20. They are like unkillable at that point. It's like everything that Matt could throw at them, they had an answer for.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that happened was, you know, what happened to Liam in the first campaign. But that was like Matt sort of been like, you've died so many times that I need to basically put a price upon your soul, basically, sort of thing. And it was a great storytelling tool. When they came into the beginning of campaign 2, like, I feel like they had not been so low level for so long. When they took on something that they couldn't figure out, and they didn't have that instinct to be like, this is going wrong, let's turn around and run away. But I feel like that really gave them a reality check.
Totally.
And that reality check lasted all the way out of campaign 2, all the way into campaign 3, and they're still like that now. And it's like, you take the biggest loss, like, moment of all time at the end of Empire Strikes Back. Margaret maybe doesn't because she's not watched it.
Yes.
Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, the biggest loss.
Like, they are like fucking down and out. Like, they are at the bottom of the pit, but then like it revs you up, and then the comeback in Return of the Jedi, and like the fight back is so sick and so awesome.
Agreed.
It's just like, I think a lot of dungeon masters have this knee-jerk reaction when they see their players sad. They go,
naturally,
because they want to have a good time.
Totally.
You know, they see them like losing and they see the loss, and then they panic. And then they like almost like try and fix it for them. It's like, if they fix it for themselves, they'll feel good, and if they lose and then have like a revenge mission, that feels sick when it pays off.
I very much agree. And that reminds me of, you know, in the campaign that we played with you in campaign 2 of your game. We had, well, it kind of went in phases, right? There was feeling good, then feeling bad, and it was like a roller coaster, but that's what we like. And the worst was when we had finally gotten into, what was the ice place called? Jotunheim. And we crashed through that ice, and we saw the army awaken and start marching upon Midgard. And for our characters, that was such a low moment. It was devastating. It was a really like an awful thing that we had failed, and we'd lost with Angerboda, and we'd given Angerboda the spark, the BBAG, basically a tool, a very important tool.
She wanted.
And we couldn't stop her taking that from us, and then we see everything happening. For our characters, oh my God, turmoil, the worst. But being able to go from that really low point to be able to, like, slowly, and listen, our characters had to force themselves to keep going at that point. But it made the victory, and it actually kind of made the how the campaign ended with Angerboda kind of softer in a way as well. And listen, we were like, our characters are suffering, but us,
loving it.
We're having a great time. Us as
great.
Players. I fully agree. And I feel like the idea of running away in a combat is something that is just not talked about enough.
Yeah, and I think you should.
I
as a
agree.
Master, let your players know, like, if a fight is too tough, narratively or mechanically, you can run away.
Yeah, I think it's something that's just not considered enough. Hey, I didn't consider it. For the first year we played D&D, I never considered running away from a fight until we got into your campaign, and we fucking had to run away.
Yeah, there was times where you had to. No, it's not very often. Because you want to fight and you want to win, but like, if there's just something that's maybe it's just gone wrong, or narratively something happened where they got too strong in the moment, and then you just can't take it on. But another example is TRP.
Yes, yeah.
When Odegar went to her home and basically infiltrated her home and was waiting for her to return.
Yeah.
She took control of TRP.
Yeah.
She killed her parents.
Yeah.
And then, turned them into vampires.
Yeah.
And then all three of them flew away together.
Yeah.
And TRP was just left stood there like, this was my worst fear.
Yeah, this was my worst nightmare embodied.
But,
and
know,
Abby, once again, was like, she's having a bad time. Me?
Great
Living.
But, you know, like, TRP then got her parents back.
Yeah.
And killed Odiger.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, that felt unreal.
It did, because he suffered the loss.
Because of what came before.
Agreed. I completely agree. I think, yeah. I think even if people, maybe their knee-jerk reaction would be to disagree with this, I think if you actually think about it, a lot of people would be like, actually, yeah, because that's how all good stories are told.
And that's how we create enemies. Mm-hmm. That's how we create like good bad guys.
Yeah.
That that you want to defeat.
Yeah.
You've lost to them.
Yeah.
So now it's their time to lose to you.
Yeah, and you know, like losing a party member, like Molly, like losing Molly, that shaped the whole campaign. Like that shaped the way that they treat everything. And you know, I don't know how that gets resolved in the end, because I've not watched all of campaign 2. But you know, it gives them a sense of revenge, and the revenge feels really good when you get it.
Unreal, yeah.
Yeah, it does. I agree, MB. Thank you. I think that's a good one. I don't think that's unpopular at all.
No, I think early dungeon master might be a little bit scared.
Of course, naturally
to do that.
Of course,
because it is the knee-jerk reaction. We are there to have fun.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's the thing is, your player can still be having fun, but their character cannot be.
Yeah,
like that's the distinction that we need to draw.
Yeah.
Like Abby. She was having a brilliant time. Yeah. She was like, this is great. I love it.
Yeah,
but her character was in turmoil. Literal life-ending turmoil.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Indeed.
So yeah, we just got to be able to draw those distinctions.
Yeah, agreed. Very much so. Thank you, MB. That's a good one.
Very good
what do you think? What do you guys think? And do you have any earth-shattering moments like that where your party suffers a really big loss? And then how did you come back around for it? Maybe we can talk about that on stream. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear
some of those stories.
Me too. All right, this next one. This has been sent in by Finn. Best DM of all time, second only to Jack.
Thank you very much.
Cheers to you, Finn.
Think so highly of me.
And he goes by he, him. Thank you for a submission, Finn. His opinion is, new players are the best players. There's something about the explorative wonder of a new player that tests me as a DM and makes me so happy. I had a player, it was his first time, and in his first session, I was doing individual prologues for everyone. Because of the scene, he's basically a knight of the Watch of the Wall from Game of Thrones, and he randomly said, I hear a rumble in the distance, and I get a little bit worried, and I go speak to the boss. It threw me because I've never had a player do something like that where they narrate the scene, but damn, it created a whirlwind of ideas in my mind, and I loved it. They test the boundaries more and more, and I don't know, they're just so gosh darn creative. I have had bad experiences with new players, and I'm going to submit that horror story after this one. But overall, I just love having new players in my party. I feel like you hear this quite regularly, actually, yeah.
And I feel like, because, you know, like, when you play a game, if you're a new Dungeon Master and a new set of players together, you, like, settle into a way of playing.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is how we play. Like, our table, we have a way to play. Critical Role, they have a way to play.
Yeah.
Every table has their way of playing. And then when somebody new comes in, and because they don't know what to expect or how to play.
Yeah. They see something for literally face value.
Yeah. It's like when I did that little scenario for my brother, like, you see how their mind works and how they look at the game. Like, it was just Margaret and my brother Dan. They were trying to get into a room past 2 guards to get some treasure. And, like, I was like, what do you do? And he was like, just the way he would go about the situation, like, what do I see? Can I get them over here? And, like, he was so creative in that moment.
Oh my God, agreed.
He was, like, saying things. I was like,
I know.
Because they don't have a preconceived notion of what the game is and how it goes.
Exactly.
When they just say things.
They just say things and they just try things.
Let's go. Let's give it a go.
I remember when Abby, it was her first time playing D&D. To be fair, we did do a one-shot with her. But at first, like, proper campaign, right? Yeah. And there was something that she asked to... What was that?
It was just me.
Oh, my goodness.
My leg was hitting something under the table.
Oh, we got the dog a big duvet, by the way. Sorry, totally,
he's
completely,
very comfortable.
Totally random.
Very comfortable.
We bought him a big. Hold on, I'll put a picture up. We bought him a big double duvet because we're soft, and he loves it, and he's very calm today. So watch him absolutely kick off.
Watch him kick off in a moment.
Sorry. Abby tried something. It was something to do with a charm. Do you remember? She was like, "Oh, can I use this? Or can I use like thaumaturgy or something?"
When was this?
In your
in my first campaign,
in second campaign,
yeah,
with TRP, she was like, "Can I try this?" And you were like, "Yeah,
yeah." She was like,
"Actually, yeah, you can."
Yeah, she was just thinking of creative ways around things, like it maybe not the actual use of the spell.
Yeah, it was a cantrip. I remember.
And she very much is just like, I've got this cantrip, and I know it's not exactly like this, but the description is very similar. Can I like try and hone my magic to do it? And I'm like, yeah,
and it was like, yeah. And again, I remember you being like, damn, yeah,
sounds cool.
totally,
that sounds cool.
Absolutely.
Like the thing is, if somebody wants to maybe do something in a game that isn't exactly what it's used for, as long as we roll the dice and like maybe use their spellcaster modifier or their, I don't know, we can just like use the dice and use the things on our sheet to like see if it works, because then if it does, the player's like, I've got a big juicy brain.
Yep.
I got a big juicy wrinkly brain, and it's good. And you know, as long as that's why we use these.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what we use these for, and I think we should maybe sometimes utilize them a little bit more.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree. I think I feel like this is a common thing. To be honest, I feel like you're either in one of two camps. You hate new players, or you love new players.
I think the only people who hate new players are veteran players.
Yes, I agree. I feel like a gatekeeping, boring people who don't want to have to teach a new player how to play the game, because there's a lot to the game.
There's when you see a new player like realize what the game is and realize like sort of how the game works, and it's like you can do anything within the bounds of like reason. As long as the dice say so, you can do anything. And it's just good to then see their minds working and think of creative ways to like solve puzzles and get out of situations and stuff like that.
Totally.
The amount of, still to this day, surprise. I like plan a session and I'm like, it's going to go, you know, somewhere around this way. Not to the T. I'm like, I'll have this planned. And then you guys will do something fucking wild. And then I just take my plan. I throw my laptop out the window and I'm like, let's play D&D. But I like that as a dungeon master. I love improvisation. I love like, because it's, I think it's okay as well for a dungeon master to say to the players, we've gone completely off what I had planned.
Oh, totally. God,
So,
give me a minute. Let me just...
Not even give me a minute. Let's just bear with me and let's just see how this goes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There was a few times in your first campaign where we took combat completely elsewhere, and you would be like, give me a sec, I'm going to rebuild this map really quick.
You have not had this fight exactly where I thought it was going to be, or like you've had a fight that I didn't expect. That whole TRP thing that I was talking about in the first, like when it all went wrong, we weren't doing that session.
No.
But oh my God.
No.
We just went.
That was a standout session.
Completely left field.
Totally.
And I was like, let's just do it. Let's just wing it together.
Absolutely.
I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. And by the way, there's no shame in, if you're the type of DM who can't improv that for whatever reason, or you just don't want to, there's nothing wrong with that as well, by the way. DMing is all about what you're comfortable doing. And sometimes in the right conditions, being able to push that boundary. And that's, I feel like, where you grow the most. But there's nothing wrong if you can't do that too. Just to be clear.
I feel like there's like shame sometimes in like, well, I didn't expect this as a dungeon master, so I don't have it planned. It's
first of all, how can you expect what, I don't know, upwards of like 6 people are going to decide to do? There's no way.
Like I think we should never be shamed for not having planned something that is, you know, completely. And I think being open and honest and being like, this isn't what I expected. Yeah. But I'm happy to go for
Let's roll with it. But by the way,
do it together.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I don't think there's no shame in that.
I agree.
There's no shame in talking above table to your players and being honest. I hate this whole, oh, you're too soft, or you're giving too much away, or, oh, you're letting them see behind the veil.
Nah, I don't get it.
Who gives a shit? And I understand some people do, obviously, but you know, like.
But I think if it's at the detriment of the dungeon master, I don't think that's acceptable.
Me neither.
Like I'm not afraid to say it. If you like want to shame your dungeon master for not having thought of every eventuality,
then you DM.
Then I think maybe you should DM and try and plan for every single eventuality.
You try it.
And if your players are chaotic, like. There's no way you can plan for it.
Your players aren't judging you. At least they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't ever be
judging you. Your players aren't judging you. Kind of off topic, but yeah, new players are the best players. What do you think?
I don't think they're the best. I think because, you know, I love my players
yeah,
at the table.
Yeah.
I do love seeing a new player play. I do love like experiencing a new player play.
I do.
And have them just like realize D&D for what it can be.
God, absolutely. Thank you so much, Finn. Thanks, you.
Finn.
All right, this is the last of the submissions, and we go on to Reddit. So this has been sent in by Zach. Zach's a DR in the Discord, and he goes by he, him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zach. Hello, this may be more of a pet peeve developed from previous players, but as a DM, I personally do not enjoy when people directly play characters from other pieces of media. I'm all for creative control, but shoehorning Kylo Ren and Bard from League of Legends into my Greek-inspired campaign was narratively challenging in a way that was not enjoyable for me. Listen,
fucking hell.
Listen, like, I feel like this is why it's so important to have a world primer. I'm not saying that you didn't, by the way.
Yeah.
But
for a player to like even just try a little bit to like fit themselves to the world primer.
Totally. And hey, like
Kylo Ren, Greek mythology.
But the thing is,
aren't a good mix.
There is ways you could reflavor Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of you can reflavor anything to fit anything. Yeah. Right? You could reflavor Kylo Ren. But if you are playing the character as that exact character, then yes, of course, it's never going to fit, right?
But if you are in Greek mythological times and it's really hot and warm and all the buildings are made out of this beautiful white concrete and everyone's wearing like light wear because it's nice and hot, and then somebody comes in with a jet black robe, a mask on made out of metal, which like nobody else is using,
with a lightsaber,
and then they're like, you don't fit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
You can take Kylo Ren and a lightsaber and make it work. Yeah. But like, that's what you mean. You got to try and make it work. You
have to. Yeah. I don't know who Bard from League of Legends is.
Neither do I.
And I don't care to know because League of Legends smells like beef.
Yeah. We played it once and it went dreadfully wrong.
Yeah. My feelings were hurt.
Right. Let me just see what they look like.
Yeah. Go on. Let me see.
Bard from League of Legends. Okay.
Yeah.
A big dude.
Yeah.
Big looking creature thing.
I can't see. Oh, he's cool looking.
Cool looking, but yeah, maybe not exactly thematic enough.
Yeah.
But you know, like that's it. It's like, well, like you said, world primers are important, so you can just like make yourself fit with the time, the theme, the climate, and things like that.
What do you think about playing direct characters?
It's tough, isn't it? Because it's like, do you then carry all of their baggage?
Yeah, probably, right? Because then, it's kind of like writing a fanfic, isn't it?
Because of Kylo Ren, that means then Han Solo exists.
Yeah.
Because Han Solo exists, that means Leia exists.
Yeah.
Because Leia exists, that means Luke Skywalker exists.
Yeah,
it also means Darth Vader exists.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of world building, and again, would you have to suspend your disbelief for those things? Yeah. Like again, I picture it as like writing fanfic, right? Like when you're writing fanfic, you are being that character in maybe like a different, like an alternative universe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay, so. Yes, while those things do exist, they don't necessarily have the impact on the world that they do in the original piece of media type thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, yeah, I
like,
don't either.
If, because D&D can be anything that you want it to
be.
And if you want it to be like you filling out your fantasy of playing Kylo Ren as a person, then totally fine. But would I allow it at my table? Probably not.
Yeah, at least with not reflavoring, right?
Because like, you know, I want to write your story with you at the table.
Yeah.
I want you to like experience things, and if there's all this like pre-written but I guess then I can do that and use those things. I just think it would be complicated.
It would. I think it would be. It would, like the implication of kind of the backstory. I think would be complicated. Yeah. But let's say you take all the backstory out. You just take that character, their likeness, their personality, their abilities.
Yeah, and you know, I have a father that and my mother and stuff they can be those people, but we can just write different stories.
Yeah,
totally fine. Yeah. I don't care about that. Then totally. I have no problem with it.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think?
I can understand how it could be really annoying.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? I don't feel like this is an unpopular opinion, actually. I feel like a lot of people, in this exact specific reference here, like, oh, this is my world. And then someone's like, I'm going to bring this character in. Yeah, indeed.
I can understand. Is it unpopular? I think no.
No, I don't think it's unpopular. I
think a lot of people would agree with this.
Agreed. Have you ever played a character, like a direct character? I remember someone did mention that they played Legolas or Aragorn. They played one of them for like a very short period in a game in the interim of character, and they said they really enjoyed that. How did that go? Was it just their likeness?
Yeah, because
type
I guess
thing?
If you're coming in for just like an interim character, it's just like you already know what they look like, sort of how they fight, how they act, like pre-written lore about them. You basically just got a pre-written character.
It's like a pre-built character.
It's
totally.
So in that aspect, I could totally see it.
Yeah, me too.
Totally
what a weird one. What a strange one.
That is a strange one. I've never really considered it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Zach.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Thank you. All right. These are all the Reddit ones.
Let's go.
Here we go. From the beginning. This is rules lawyers are important to have around as long as they don't overstep or act holier than thou. Unless the DM has been hardcore for years, it usually takes a team to correctly utilize the rules.
I would agree.
Yeah, I think I would agree too, to be honest. I think there's a way of doing it.
I am a person who likes the rules.
Yeah.
Because I think that means when we break them, it feels really good.
Yeah.
Like, if we can make exceptions, like, we're doing it because it's the right moment to do it and we want to do it for this situation.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of times where I'm thinking about 100,000 different things about, like, the rest of the session and what time we've got left and how much I can fit in. And I've got this big moment for Margaret planned. And maybe my brain might just blank on a rule. And if Matthew or Josh or Abby or Margaret goes, actually, we this is the rule, or we rule it like this, I'm like, thank you. Yes,
like we regularly do that too, by the way.
Yeah.
Like regularly, one of us casts a spell and we go, what does this do? And everyone's like, right, let's take a look. And we all
take a
go
look at the spell.
through it together. I think there's a way of doing it. And again, it's weird. It's like an unspoken thing at our table, right? Where we just, if that's the case, everyone goes, right, okay, well, look.
I mean, it's good to keep each other right, I think.
It is. And, if one of us mess up, one of us does it, and we go, oh, it shouldn't happen like that.
Yeah. And sometimes, we make mistakes and stuff, and we all just forget.
And it's never done in a holier than thou way. I think this is, I agree with this.
Yeah, as long as you're not an asshole
as long as you're not being a prick about it.
Can be. Like, if it's,
actually,
like...
And, like, if it, and you know what, it's especially a player to a DM, because the thing is, it's different with the DM. Because you have no idea what the DM has planned. You have no idea if they're intentionally doing it this way. Mm-hmm. Like, a common thing, I think, is monster stat blocks, right? Rules lawyers going, actually, that's not how it works. And the DM being like, bitch, I know. And it's like that intentionally, by the way.
I've kept the monster the same, but this thing, because of the environment, what the fuck.
Flavor. Backstory you don't know yet.
You don't know about. Yeah. Like, as long as I think we're keeping each other, at least, it's not even like, it's not like that. It's, just so you know, it's not like that. Just a reminder, you rule it how you want, Dungeon Master.
And then accepting the fact that it's not like that.
What the DM wants.
I feel like it gets into like the bad territory when it's like argued, when it's like, well, it's not like this. And the DM goes, no, it is for this time. And then they go, well, actually it shouldn't be. And I should be able to do this. And it's like, man, shut the fuck up.
A reminder and a correction are two different things.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I think a reminder, like, because, people remind me of things, like, sometimes. I'm usually quite good with the rules.
Yeah, listen, Josh is our one fucking brain cell.
Yeah, he's good at keeping you all right.
He's really good at keeping us all right. Yeah.
And just being like, just remember that you have this ability. Just remember that you have this magic item.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Yeah. It's thank God. Yeah. By the way.
He's got a very keen mind when it comes to your abilities and stuff like that. Yeah. He knows your classes and how you've used them and stuff like that.
Yeah, indeed.
So but I very often have to be like, that's actually not how that works. And we don't get all fucking pissy and angry at each other.
No.
Like, I just have to remind people.
Sometimes if you do something and it turns out you're completely wrong, feels like shit, and sometimes you can be like, but it would never be like a well, actually, I think, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I agree.
One thing that I'm bad with as a dungeon master, because I'm running multiple monsters on the battlefield, is a reaction. Like, I can't remember who spent the reaction and who hasn't spent the reaction. Yeah. So there's a lot of times where I'm like, this is going to take an attack of opportunity.
And then we're like,
no,
it's not.
It's already used its reaction, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Your ass so right.
Yeah, that must. I think reactions are hard to track because they can happen at any point within your turn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They refresh at the top of your turn and stuff like that.
Maybe we can get like a reaction tracker.
That's what I was thinking. I've always been thinking of this, like reaction, no reaction.
Why don't? Yeah. Well, why don't you just write on the tiles? Sorry. Why don't you just write on the tiles? If someone's done a reaction, just tick it.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to their turn, wipe it off.
Maybe we could sell something on the start with reaction, no reaction, like with the tokens.
Yeah. Would that help you if we had something like that?
And seeing whose reaction is up and whose isn't is probably
Can you how I don't know how you see. Sorry.
How I see what?
How you see over the DM screen. When I DM'd, I'd be like this.
Yeah, because I'm stood up.
True.
None of you seem to stand up when you do combat.
I don't stand up.
I stand up during combat. Are you a dungeon master that stands up during combat? Or do you sit down?
We had a friend also who he was very much, as soon as combat started, he would stand up too.
Yeah, I always stand up as a dungeon master in combat. It gives me, I get hyped.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I get ready for combat, and like I can look over and see and observe everything and things like that.
Could never be me.
I need to stand up during combat.
Never be me. Yep, no.
Gotta get the hype building,
No, I agree with this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Ow, my back!
No!
Oh.
Man, anyone saw that fucking clip from Margaret doing a werewolf on stream? My God, so funny.
Listen.
So funny.
Listen, mutant.
All
right, this next one is just because I, the DM, spent hundreds of hours preparing a game for a party does not mean that anyone will actually enjoy the game. Sometimes we have to accept that what we want isn't what our players want, and there needs to be some compromises.
Oh God, okay. I agree with the first part.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't actually need to compromise for anyone.
Agreed. Yes, agreed.
Like if you're gonna put hundreds of hours in.
Yeah. Which, let's face it, DMs do.
They do.
DMs do.
Like over the course of a campaign, you're gonna put hundreds of hours of prepping.
You certainly are.
And like, if you are the sort, it depends. Like, if you've got a table full of people who like your storytelling, then like there's not going to be any compromise.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, when you're trying to find a table,
totally.
The thing is, if you're putting in hundreds of hours, you have to enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, have to.
Or you're just not going to.
Yeah, you have to. And like, I feel like people are like, oh, well, they're too close to their work. They're taking it too personally. And it's like, listen, you spend hundreds of hours doing something. There is no way the human brain won't be too close to it. There's no way.
You already spend hundreds of hours doing something you don't want to do at your
job. Oh my God,
lightly.
totally. Yeah, totally.
Or like in social commitments. Like when we're playing D&D, we're doing it because we're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And as the dungeon master who's putting in hours of their own time, not getting paid,
totally.
The only thing that they get out of it is enjoyment of running a game, seeing the players enjoy it, like seeing the story come to conclusion, like seeing the plot threads like pay off and stuff like that. Like that's what they get out of it. So they have to enjoy it.
And to be honest, I actually do partially agree with the second part, right? The bit like there has to be compromises.
Yeah.
I agree, but only to the degree that each individual is willing to do.
Not an enjoyment.
Yeah, I think in life you have to make compromises, right? And I think if it comes to that point, and hey, I don't know, someone listening might be in a similar situation. Like if you're having to make compromises, you just need to think to yourself, what is the most important part of it? What is your pillar that you will not move on, and what isn't that too bad? And hey, if you find a player that can meet you somewhere in the middle, like I do partially agree with that. Yeah, I do.
And yeah, I think like the moment that you stop enjoying it as a dungeon master, you should just stop dungeon mastering.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's too much stress and it's too much work to be putting in for you to not enjoy it.
At the very least, give yourself a break.
Yeah, give yourself a break.
At the very, very least.
So I agree that there has to be some compromises.
Yeah.
But as soon as you compromise on having a good time,
absolutely,
you've compromised too far.
Totally. And hey, this kind of goes back to the whole like, sometimes the first group you play with aren't going to be your forever group, and you sometimes have to kind of cycle through a few groups until you find exactly the right people.
Yeah, I agree.
We were lucky. We were just so lucky that the group that we played with happens to be our forever group.
Yes.
That doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think we just had a bunch of people, like you and Matthew just love playing D&D, and I just love dungeon mastering. And then we got really lucky with Josh.
Yeah, we really did.
I'd never played Dungeons & Dragons with Josh before, and I was just like, I know he's a nerd.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I know
yeah,
he likes
yeah,
nerdy shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'd known him for so long, I was like, do you want to try and play D&D? And he was like, I'd love to give it a go.
Yeah.
He turned up instantly.
Instant.
He got on with everybody at the table.
Yep.
He understood the game.
Yep.
He just role played well. He had a good time. And then like we got lucky with Abby because you were already so close to her that you were telling her about the campaign, and she was like, man, that sounds like loads of fun.
I knew Abby already, like when she makes like a World of Warcraft character, she would give them like a backstory. She would give them all that stuff, and I knew that it would be something that she would love, and she did. Yeah. And she'd played like the beta of Baldur's Gate and stuff too. So yeah,
we just got really lucky, and but the thing is, I think we forget that before that we had played many games.
Yeah,
and it's not that they weren't perfect, but it wasn't like, okay, this is absolute nailed on.
Yeah, and hey, we tried to play with strangers once.
It's not good. Didn't go well.
Not
Well, it's
good.
not that it didn't go well. It was actually fine.
Yeah, and they were very nice.
And they were actually really good players and a really good dungeon master.
Just different.
It was just not our vibe.
Yeah, totally,
so,
very different.
Which was
Yeah,
a bit rough.
Anyway, yeah, I agree.
I agree,
Do you think this is unpopular?
I think. Nah, I don't think it's unpopular.
I don't know. Actually.
I think as long as you're not compromising on fun, yes, compromises can be made. But it's the moment you compromise on fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think compromises are totally fine.
Yeah.
But only for having fun.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
As long as you're having fun.
Agreed.
Remember that we play this. It's a fucking game, and if we're not enjoying it, don't play.
Agreed.
That's what we need to remember.
Sorry. I pooped.
You pooped.
You know what? I slept really well last night as well.
Yeah, I think
first time in
maybe
ages.
you overslept.
Yeah, maybe I
Maybe
did.
you like slept too much.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
I'm beepy. I'm eepy. All right, this next one is no PC should start with more than 15 in their main stat at level 1, and let's dispose of bonuses at character creation entirely.
Let's dispose of bonuses. What, like +2/+1?
Entirely.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah. Well, sorry, you know what? They're kind of like two different points, but
I mean, they are, but they're not.
yeah, they tie in with each other.
15
in their main stat
in
at
their
level
main
1.
stat.
Yeah.
That's hardcore
That's
mode.
that's worse than standard array because at least you have the stat bonuses.
At least you have the stat bonus. You can get it. You get to 15.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
I also don't think I agree with that. I feel like this is so 50-50, right?
Tell you what, it's been really nice and refreshing for this game because I think the only person who's got a +4 in their main stat is Matthew.
Yes.
Everybody else has got a +3.
Yes.
So everyone's got like a +5 to hit. Matthew's got a +6.
Yes.
And it is so refreshing.
Yeah.
And it is, tell you what, it's unbelievably easy to balance as a dungeon master.
Oh, and we're all D8s as well.
And we're all D8s.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's really easy to balance. It's feeling real good, to be honest.
Good.
You know, last time everybody started with a +6.
Yes.
And like with to hit, so that's like a +4 plus your +2 proficiency. I think that don't starting with an 18 might be a cool rule. With an 18.
Sorry, what? Say that again.
Not starting with an 18.
Yes.
So like what Matthew's got like that.
Yeah.
Because then you do get the room to grow, and you do spread your stats a little bit more.
Yeah,
easily,
because
you get more well-rounded characters.
It was no one can start with a 20, so no one can start with an 18.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I think like the +5s to hit.
Yeah, no,
like,
I agree.
It's making combat really interesting.
I agree.
Like,
yeah,
there is a few misses here and there.
Yeah, no,
with these like low-level monsters.
I'm inclined to agree.
So you know, I don't, but no.
Yeah,
stat
geez,
bonuses.
fuck me. No more than a 15.
No more than a 15 and no stat bonuses.
Yeah, I know. And again, this fully depends how you do stats, right?
Yeah.
If you do standard array, I feel like most people will be like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, fine. Yeah, it's not too dissimilar. You do point by, I think, well, anything other than the standard array, you're probably like, oh, we roll stats. Roll 46, drop the lowest. And we have a minimum too.
It's not a wild minimum or anything like that.
None of us having a 15 would feel awful for us.
You've got a +2 in your main stat.
Yeah, that would feel fucking awful for us.
That stinks. Don't like that.
Yeah.
I think you know as well, like racial bonuses. It can be nice to be like, oh, I'm actually gonna go for this because
I
like,
agree.
stats are in the right place. I just say put your stats, put your +2, +1 wherever you want, and take the racial bonuses you want, or take a feast.
Yeah,
that's completely up to you.
I think racial bonuses are part of the fun.
Yeah.
A part of like.
Where am I going to put my +2? Where am I going to put my +1?
Yeah.
How am I going to get like? I have an odd number, so that means when I get to level 4, I can get this like half beat. Like you like plan your character, and it's exciting.
Yeah, agreed.
No racial bonuses sounds fucking dreadful.
I think the no racial bonuses, that is very much an unpopular opinion, very much so. But the 15 in the main stat again, I think is probably split.
That's
right?
table dependent. I think
very much so.
If nobody had higher than a +2, I think it's like the combats can't be very hard.
Yeah, or it's a total 180 and they're really fucking hard.
ACs can't be very high because you know,
or they are and it's terrible. You know what I mean?
Like a 14 AC, which isn't a high AC.
No,
but that's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
When you roll that dice.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think that's going to be a 50-50 to be honest. I think it's unpopular. And again,
that's unpopular.
Once more, very table dependent. Like,
very table dependent.
For our table, that would feel fucking awful.
Dreadful.
But I can imagine tables where people just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, at all. So
I think I don't like.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I think that's unpopular to me.
Agreed. What do you think?
Unpopular?
What do you think? I'd like to know.
What do you think?
I'd like to know. All right, this next one is this is someone quoting something that their DM said to them.
Okay.
You, the players, shouldn't try to influence the story. And then they've said, "My brother in Christ, I am not here to be read a bedtime book."
Oh,
yeah, again.
Then what's the point in being there?
Totally. God, totally. And again, there's two camps to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is, the players influence the story because it's a collaborative storytelling game. Or there's the other camp where it's the DM's rules go. This is how it goes. You are here. You don't really get a backstory and you just follow the story. Both camps, which different groups of people enjoy.
So, hear me out.
Go on.
If you aren't, as players, meant to influence the story, then the bad guy should always win.
Yeah.
Because then what's the point of being there? So that means you've written the bad guy to lose in every single story you've ever made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we're not supposed to have any influence on it, then you've written the bad guy to fail.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yep.
Because, the bad man has a plot. Bad man, I say
the bad man.
The BBEG has a plot, and the whole point is you, as the heroes, usually foil it.
Yeah.
You have some say in it. You interrupt it. You fuck it up for them.
Yeah, like
if you aren't there to imprint on the story, then the bad guy should surely win every single time, right?
See, how I'm reading this is you shouldn't try to influence the story as in, like, try to persuade NPCs or try to, like, build a homestead or try and fix, like, these political things. That's kind of how I'm reading it. Like, which again, I understand not every player wants to do that, but man, the biggest part to our group is changing the world.
What we did.
Yeah, totally. Influencing the story.
Like, big decisions that we made.
And because you're the type of DM where we give you our backstories and you base everything around our backstories.
Yeah.
You create the world in our stead type thing.
Yeah.
So I think, again, this just comes down to different tables, but I would argue it's a collaborative storytelling game.
Exactly. Collaborative between
the DM and the player.
The Dungeon Master and the players. I would say this is case in point of just write a book.
Yeah, no, yeah, well,
Like,
literally, as OP says here, like, I'm not here to be read a bedtime book.
You have clearly got a story that you want to tell, and you want it not to be changed in the slightest with outside influence.
Totally.
You shouldn't be a Dungeon Master. You should
write a book,
You should write a book.
And by the way, nothing wrong with that as well.
Writing books is great.
Yeah, we need books. Listen,
Yeah.
we need books. But I think sometimes DMs, one of the biggest...
Had to clap over the dog?
Sorry. Sorry. I think I was talking about books, writing books. Yeah, a lot of DMs, I think, the whole player versus DM thing becomes an issue in some circumstances where the DM can't have their world touched and can't have their things interrupted with. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can recognize that.
As long as you can recognize that.
And go, damn, maybe I should just write a book.
Maybe I should write a book.
Yeah, totally.
Like that is the thing. And it's just like, as long as your players are okay with that. But the thing is, the majority of players aren't okay with that.
No.
The majority of players want to, write their own story.
Get their grubby little hands on it.
Like, write a piece of history. It's like, look at Critical Role. There are like people from the first campaign, like characters from the first campaign, who are still making a mark on the campaign in campaign 3, who are like still like prominent figures because they did do the heroic thing. They did defeat the bad guy. They did save the world. Like, and you can have a story that is like in campaign 2, it was more of a like nobody sort of knew what they did for the world.
Yeah.
And they aren't really like these prominent figures.
Yeah.
But they still had an impact, and they still basically saw the bad guy and were like, well, I'm not letting that happen. We're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel you can have a D&D campaign.
I agree. No, I agree.
The players don't make a mark on the world.
In some way, shape, or form,
I just
right?
don't understand how you can have that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But, I can also see a world where there is two camps to this, and people, hey, sometimes your players don't want to do that. Sometimes your players do just want to turn up, be someone else for a little while, follow a story, have a combat, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But me... if I didn't have the option to make an impact on the world to influence the story, I'm not interested.
And that's just probably just a different taste, I guess.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it is.
Different taste in D&D.
I feel like so many of these ones have been so like table dependent, right?
Yeah. Not for me, that one.
Nope. Same.
And I would say that is unpopular.
I agree.
I
think that's very unpopular.
Like all these like stories and games that we play. You are the hero that saved the day. You are the hero that like changed the world, saved the world. All these things, and it's just like I want to be that person.
Yeah, I think that's very unpopular.
And I want my players to be those people at my table.
Agreed.
Because my bad guys have big plans.
Yeah, they do.
Big plans.
Yeah. All right. This next one is this never sits well with anyone, but here it goes.
God.
I truly believe it's okay to fudge dice rolls if you feel the outcome would please the table. I've done it before, and I would happily do it again.
Please the table. God. Oh, God, it's so tough. It's so tough. What do you think?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree. I am very much the type of player, and, I was DM very briefly, but the way I see it is, as long as, first of all, people don't know you're fudging the roll, then it doesn't matter. Like, ignorance is bliss, in my humble opinion. And, if it's something that would be a real feels bad without the chance of, kind of in the beginning, the chance of it being one of these lows that can be overcome. Like, I agree. I think.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Right. Here's the example.
Yeah.
TRP dies.
Yes.
Vinriel steps in.
Yep.
Takes a place.
Yep.
And creates this like epic moment. This continuation of a story that we're going to like continue in the future.
Yeah.
If we'd have just fudged those dice rolls, that moment wouldn't have happened. That didn't please Abby.
Yeah, but Abby rolled the dice.
Yeah, I know, but what if, let's just say, we do secret death saves behind the screen?
Yeah.
Let's just.
Oh, sorry. Right. See, I'm reading this only as DM, not as player. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I should have prefaced that.
Let's just like take that moment.
Yeah.
Like Abby dying.
Yeah.
Like if it was in my hands and I'd fudged the moment.
Yeah.
Because that would have pleased the table more.
Yes. Yeah.
We wouldn't have had that epic moment. What would you have said about that?
I wouldn't have been any wiser, and I would have been like, "Thank God, my friend's okay." Do you know what I mean?
True. So the ignorance is where you
very much so. Very much ignorance is bliss, and it's so hard to say that in hindsight, because in that moment, if you had fudged the roll, I wouldn't have been able to look into the future and see all the other paths that opened because of it. Do you know what I mean?
So the point that was made earlier. Okay, I'm not trying to argue with you with this. I'm just trying to figure out your mindset.
Yeah.
We lose because then it feels better when we win.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that was the exact point I made. Like, I feel like it's so hard to play God. It's hard to play God in these moments, to be able to know, because taking that exact example of what you gave of TRP right there, if you had rolled the dice and fudged it, right, and she had won, then you also couldn't have seen into the future and seen that actually it was a better outcome, her dying in the end, because there was like this loss. However, only in our opinion, in Abby's opinion, was TRP losing Vinriel better than her just not dying? Probably not.
Probably not, no.
Do you know what I mean? And I think this all comes down to each individual person. I can go, I would have preferred it to live.
I think this comes down to Dungeon Master and player.
Yeah.
Because, like, the players will never know if the Dungeon Master has fudged the rolls most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, if I fudged a roll and we succeed and stuff like that, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
But then we missed out on a potential loss for a story in the future.
Yeah.
We won on. So, like, for me as a Dungeon Master, I think it's absolutely totally fine when you start as a Dungeon Master to fudge some rolls because you don't know how to balance combat.
I agree with that.
And maybe you don't know what is a correct DC for something like, I don't know. I've got 4 new players around my table. They're all playing different classes. I don't know what the proficiencies are. I don't really know what the stats are. I'm giving somebody like a 15 DC check and they got a -1. That's a really hard check.
Yeah.
I think as a new Dungeon Master, until you know your players that starts the table, what they're capable of in combat, you're okay. I think when you start to learn that and you're comfortable with that, I think sometimes not fudging rolls can actually lead to better storytelling.
I agree. I agree. But again, my point is you just can't see into the future, and you can't see all of those things that would open up. And, let's say there's an alternate reality where you did fudge the roll for whatever reason, even though, she rolled it, and that never happened. We wouldn't have known of that outcome.
Yeah.
So you would just have to live your life without ever knowing that, if that makes sense. Like, you could ponder what the other parts would be.
Like, I think there's 2 moments in D&D, and it's the player rolls something that you've given them the DC for, and they meet it, and you all fucking celebrate like fuck because they just met it, and it was this crazy moment. And then there's a moment like where they've worked really hard to get to this moment, and all they need to do is reach this DC to kill the BBEG, and you roll it, and they failed a few times, and it's this huge moment, and you succeed, and it's just like, this fight's gone on long enough now. They've done enough. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You succeed.
Yeah.
That is a narrative fudging that I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But I think when you only do it now and then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel
great.
like, it has to be done like every now and then. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't really without actually being like in game. But like, I don't know, something like if you're trying to save someone who was prominent in your backstory. Okay, for example, Rayla, when Revna was about to fall into the hole with Nidhogg, right? And Rayla runs up to her and tries to grab her. If I had failed that save and lost her forever, that would have felt really bad. Like, especially after everything that came out. Like,
you reckon? Because you said you were happy to let her go.
Yeah, but I think after making the decision to go for her, like, it would have stank. It would have felt bad. Like, I love a little bit of drama. I love a little bit of loss. Not of my character, but the people around me. I feel like that would have felt bad. And, maybe not making a check to remember something really important in the moment that only hinders the moment for everyone. I feel like it's okay. But again, I very much live in ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, I guess it's so weird looking at it from both perspectives, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think it's strange looking at it from each perspective. And I think it does actually come down to like every single moment is actually just completely different.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. No. Yeah. You couldn't say the same outcome for per situation, if that makes sense. It changes per situation. It changes
by every situation.
Yeah.
And, I think you just learn that as a dungeon master.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more than happy to just not fudge rolls in combat because I can balance combat quite well.
Yeah.
But, if it's narrative and I just need something to happen, I don't think there's anything wrong with just being like, it happens.
Oh,
and I think that's where,
I agree.
Like, we end up fudging rolls that we didn't even need to fucking make in the first place. So, is fudging rolls okay? Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Again, I feel like, there's such a huge thing against fudging rolls because it's like, well, it undermines everything. No, it doesn't. Because you players don't know.
But at the same time, I think if you absolutely need something to happen, then it happens.
Yeah, I agree. I
think because we play a game with dice, we just feel like we need to roll a dice for everything. It's
yeah.
We rolled the dice to get to this point.
Yeah.
Now it just happens.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm happy. I'm all happy.
Yeah. God, I bet people are going to absolutely shit on me for that. For that opinion.
What, you having an opinion on
No.
Incorrect.
I can just see the paragraphs right now.
They can just shut their goddamn mouths.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
But you know what? I was thinking this purely from a DM perspective. I think it's different with players.
Yeah, because you can't.
I feel like players fudging rolls is a big no-no.
It's a no-no.
No matter what. Like, no matter the situation.
Yeah. I agree.
Because you're not running the narrative of the game.
The narrative doesn't rely completely upon you.
Yeah, sorry. I should have probably prefaced saying I was only thinking about DMs there. But yes! What do you think on that? I think know most people have such polarizing opinions
that's
on
a 50-50. People
yeah,
are like,
very much
dice
so.
are gods, dice have the say.
Very
Some people are
much
like, they just help me tell the story, I'm the DM.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, totally.
When it comes to important shit, if you need something to happen, you shouldn't really be rolling the dice anyway.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. Fucking hell. God, we spent a long time on that one, didn't we? We have so many left.
That's okay.
We have so many left.
That's all right.
All right, this next one is... the game shouldn't have any damage-dealing cantrips outside of maybe Eldritch Blast if it's scaled exclusively with Warlock levels. Cantrips should be used in a way to do light utility things and should usually require creativity to use. I prefer the idea of casters needing to maintain their spell slots more closely to make their damage really count. And this would also work better with the shorter days with less encounters that most tables seem to run.
I completely disagree with this.
I like my fireball.
I completely disagree with this.
I like Thorn Whip. Whee!
The thing is, it's like that cantrips don't really do very much damage.
Yeah.
They never do that much damage.
Yeah, and you know they do scale.
The only ones that I agree with, it's like, is Firebolt. I think Firebolt should actually just be a D8.
I agree.
Because
yeah.
like usually the very long range things
have lower
damage dice because you are at less risk of getting hurt.
Exactly. Firebolt
it's like, look at poison spray. Yeah, it doesn't do like D12, but that's because it's like fucking 10 feet.
Yeah, totally.
Eldritch Blast, I understand.
Eldritch Blast is
made for the Warlock because they have 2 spell slots.
Yes, totally. Eldritch Blast is different.
You should, in my honest opinion, no matter what, you should never be able to gain access to Eldritch Blast
unless you're a Warlock.
Unless you are a Warlock.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. And that's coming from someone who did take Eldritch Blast as a cleric because I took can't remember
Magic
what the
Machine.
Yeah.
Like Eldritch Blast is the exception. Fucking wizards just having Firebolt is just unfair.
You know what? Yeah. And did you like how the first example I gave was I like Firebolt?
It has 120-foot range.
I know, and it does a D10.
I
know. That is so unfair to all the other cantrips.
Like, what, clerics get Sacred Flame? It's a fucking dexterity saving throw, which is
know.
usually very, very, very common enemies are good at.
Yeah. And what, you get Toll the Dead, which if they've already taken damage, you do a D10?
If they've already taken damage, they do a D12.
D12. But again, it's a save.
I don't think it has a particularly good range.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing. Firebolt is the only exception in my opinion. I do not like Firebolt.
Yeah.
Like, if you get great range, the damage comes down. If you get shit range, the damage goes up.
Yeah.
Because you're closer to the fight, you're closer to the fucking the danger, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, see, I disagree for the exact opposite reason that OP says here. I think cantrips are important and necessary to make life for a caster a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's hard managing your spells. Don't care.
Especially if you're a dungeon crawling party.
Yeah. Do not care what you say. Managing your spell slots and knowing exactly when the right time to use them and the time isn't to use them.
The wrong time to use them,
is really hard.
It's tough, yeah.
It's hard. And that's coming from someone who can't balance my resources very well.
If you're a one combat per long rest party, I can understand why this would be a thing.
Which, to be fair, OP does say like it works better with like the shorter days and the less encounter, which hey, I agree with, and I can see OP's point. But for me, I'm like, man, if you didn't have damage dealing cantrips as a spellcaster, it would make your job so much harder. There would be so many more chances to fuck up, basically.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Because if there's one combat a day, like, fucking hell, just burn all these spell slots. Just blast. Just start blasting.
Yeah, agreed.
But, we have lots of dungeon crawls.
Yeah.
And we have lots of combats per day.
Yeah.
And, we go multiple sessions without having a long rest.
Yeah.
Like we did last time.
Yeah.
And it feels good when you come to the last combat and you're like, I've still got a couple of spell slots. And they're really impactful, but you pad out those like smaller combats with your cantrips because you don't want to burn them.
Yeah, totally.
And if those little combats start going wrong, and then you have to use a spell slot, it's like I think it's necessary.
Totally.
Like I feel like, this is unpopular, and I do not agree.
I think this is unpopular too. Yeah,
but I do agree that Firebolt is too strong.
Yeah, but I agree. I like the cantrip should be a way to use to do light utility. It should require creativity to use. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I do. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Do you like Firebolt too? Are you like me and we like Firebolt?
I like Firebolt.
You let me know
when I'm a player, but I think it's too strong in comparison to the other cantrips.
Yeah, especially with a range. God,
apart from Eldritch Blast, but Eldritch Blast should be Warlock specific because they only have 2 spell slots.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. All right, this next one. You should let your players die if they put themselves in that position all on their own. Sometimes there isn't a reward for dropping your pants and pissing on the troll's bridge. If they were smart, half of them would be running the moment the pants hit the floor.
Correct.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
If you act like a fucking goddamn fool, then like that's the thing. The only time that you are ever going to TPK or die in my party is if things either go wrong
or you
act like a fucking
play
idiot.
stupid games, win stupid prizes. Agreed.
Exactly.
Like this exact example, pissing on the Trolls Bridge. What the fuck do you expect?
It's like, yeah, you are literally directly insulting the creature that lives under the bridge.
Yeah,
like you are antagonizing this extremely dangerous beast. Of course, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, totally.
And of course, there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, now, do I agree with killing players off in-game for out-of-game reasons? Like, this player's really annoying, I'm going to kill them in-game. No, I do not agree with that. But situations like this, where they're being reckless, they're being intentionally disrespectful, they're like... this isn't like murder hobo behavior, but this is along those lines behavior. Yeah, I think showing them that their actions have consequences is important.
I think, and as well, it could be like the character wants to show that they aren't scared.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's when players ignore direct information from the Dungeon Master.
Yes.
It's like, if you walk into, I remember somebody, when I was very early on in Dungeons and Dragons, made this example. If you're level 1 and there is a sign that points to a cavern that says Dragon's Lair, and you just walk past it not caring, and you walk into the Dragon's Lair, you're going to die.
You're going to die.
And that's your fault.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that's what I mean. It's like completely ignoring like Dungeon Master hints for you to not die. That's your own fault.
Yeah, I very, very, very much agree.
I completely agree.
God, absolutely.
Because this world is dangerous. And, that danger is why we have combats. And that danger is what, is exciting when we win.
Yeah.
Like, so I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I do too. Yeah, very
I think
much
it might divide opinions.
I don't know.
Because I think there are a lot of people who play for just narrative role-playing sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And they would not agree with this.
Yeah, and, I think in those games, that's probably set out at, like, session 0, and everyone kind of knows that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a completely different situation. But in terms of like an everyday normal game, hey, if we did this, fuck.
It'd be your own fault.
Yeah, totally. God, totally. And we'd recognize that it was our own fault.
Yeah, it says Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
And you're level 3.
1. Yeah, totally.
Don't go in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yep, agreed. Hello.
Hello, sweet man.
Oh, he's looking at me.
He's looking at me.
Oh, he's looking at me.
He's very handsome.
Oh, dear me. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop looking at him. All right. All right. This next one is maybe unpopular, may not be, but I loathe both as a player and as a DM starting at level 1.
Oh, yes, I know. I do know. I do understand.
I knew you would.
Level 1.
I knew you would.
Stinks.
Yeah,
but I completely understand the narrative, and it's always the counterpoint is
totally.
I want to start at the bottom.
And work my way up to the
when
top.
I become a hero,
it feels good.
That feels good.
Yeah, see, I have flip-flopped on this so much. Oh my god, this opinion, I have been in the camp of, I love level 1, in the camp of, I hate level 1. And to be honest, I still don't really know where I fall now.
Because we started this campaign at level 3.
Yeah, and it feels good.
Last campaign we started at level 1. First campaign we started at level 1.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been any pushback at starting at level 3.
No.
And I don't think there's been anything wrong with starting at level 3.
No, I agree. And normally, the person who does have the pushback is Matthew.
Yeah.
Because he loves the 0 to hero type thing, which, I very much respect and I understand.
Yeah.
And I think the only other time we started at level 3, the game that we played in, listen, the only reason I wanted to start at level 3 is because I was multi-classing. I was a swashbuckler rogue going into a hexblade warlock. And I was like, I need to get there quicker.
Yeah.
And I feel like just in that campaign specifically, it felt really bad just because of the campaign.
Yeah,
Do you
the
know what I
campaign
mean?
was a little bit all over the shop.
Yeah.
And I think we then had negative feelings towards starting at level 3 because the campaign just wasn't our.
I think so. It wasn't bad or anything. It was, it just wasn't.
Just very like all over the place.
Yeah, it just wasn't our.
Yeah, it wasn't concise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is. I don't think this is unpopular. Because
I agree.
I think a lot of people will start at level 3 because that means everyone's got their subclass. Because everybody wants that identity. And it's like your subclass usually identifies you as a fighter, you as a warlock, you as a wizard, you as just like how you fight and the style and things like that all come from that.
I can also see the other side of this. People who haven't picked the subclass yet. People who have gone in being like, oh, I'm going to play a, I don't know. Yeah, I'll play a druid.
Yes.
right? And they haven't decided exactly what druid they would like, and they would like to narratively see over the next few sessions kind of what speaks to them, or like a new player. And there is something exciting about going from 1 to 2 and getting the stuff.
Yeah.
There is something exciting from 2 to 3,
Yeah.
getting your subclass and doing all of that. So I get it. And again, I'm so flip-floppy on this.
I think that point that you made is very important as well, especially for new players. Like, you don't really understand what, like, sparks joy in D&D for you. Do you like being the controller? Do you like CCing enemies? Do you like healing?
Yeah.
If you do, you're amazing.
Damn.
Do you like just fucking dealing loads of damage?
Yeah.
Then it's just like, then that will actually shape what subclass you pick, especially if you're playing something like a cleric.
Yes.
A wizard.
Yes.
Like something that can like have that variety, that can fill many different roles on the battlefield. Like if you pick Evocation Wizard and like you actually want to deal loads of damage, and you actually end up fucking hating dealing loads of damage.
Yeah.
And you find something more exciting like Transmutation, where you can be that like sort of Swiss Army knife, like just pick for the situation.
Yeah.
Like I think that's really good. I think starting at level 1 is a really good thing for new players.
Totally. Yeah, totally. But have I enjoyed more being level 3 and having all my shit already? Yes, definitely.
That's probably because you're an experienced
I have.
player.
Yeah, you're right.
Who trialed the subclass prior to
exactly,
playing the campaign.
Exactly. And you know what? God, you're thinking about it, going in as a new player and having to know all of that stuff from the beginning without having even done a combat. That would be very overwhelming for me,
having,
actually.
Like all of the things from your class, and then all of the things from level 1, level 2, and then subclasses to level 3.
And your racials as well, if you have any abilities, and if you have any feats as well, your Ovarian Human or whatever.
You'd be lost in the sauce.
You would be lost in the sauce.
You'd be lost in the sauce.
Agreed. You would be lost, yeah.
Starting at level 1 for veteran players and experienced players can be boring,
Yeah, I agree. I
think this is probably a popular opinion.
Yes, I think so too, actually. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think? Do you agree for all of the reasons?
The 0 to hero is also a very valid argument.
I agree. And you know, the way we do it is when we've played it at level 1 is first session's level 1, you level up immediately to level 2, and then there's like 2 or 3 sessions between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So it's not a very long.
No, it's not a long
very
time.
Long,
no,
but I definitely have preferred being level 3 to start with this time round. Yeah, definitely.
Fair dues.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you think. All right, this next one is I like discussing rules at the table or bringing up when rules are missed. The rules were designed to make play balanced for all players and not to be selectively remembered when they suit you. I think modifying rules makes sense in certain situations, but everyone at the table should be under the same understanding that the rules will be run as written, and there's a good explanation if any are changed or overlooked.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like this actually ties in with the one that we read before,
Agreed.
right? With the rules lawyer thing.
Yeah, I think, like the rules should be followed and we should very much state when we do not follow the rules and why we're making the exception.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's true. It's like games have rules. That's why they're fun. Like, because when you succeed within the bounds of the rules,
it feels like, really good.
This feels great.
Yeah, I'm a god.
If there are no rules to follow, it's like
free for all. Then fuck knows who.
It's like, it's fun, but why is it fun? Because we're just doing whatever the fuck we want.
Agreed.
Yeah,
yep, I agree.
Completely agree with this.
I completely agree
with this.
And hey, we discuss rules all the time.
We discuss it and why we're gonna not do it for this one and why we are gonna do it for this one.
And you regularly will discuss a rule and you'll be like, No, I'm going to rule it differently.
Because of this factor, because of this thing that's happened here. And I'm happy to do it. And I think, like, if you want to break rules super often, as long as you're, like, stating why and when you're doing it, it doesn't really matter.
Totally.
Like, I like to break rules, but I probably break a rule, like, every session.
Yeah.
Because somebody wants to try something, and I'm happy for it to happen.
Yeah, and as long as it's openly communicated. Yeah, I agree. I think that's quite a cut and dry one, to be honest.
say that was popular.
Yeah.
I would say that is a popular rule.
Yeah.
That is a popular opinion.
What do you think? What do you think? All right, we're up to third to last. All right, we've got the last 3.
Let's fucking get it.
Buckle in. All right, get ready. The lights are going to go up in the cinema soon.
Yes.
So.
And then everyone's going to be able to see if you haven't got your shoes on.
Oh.
And they're going to be like, that's whose feet smelled.
Oh my God,
It was you, your feet smell.
Yeah,
it's
all
you.
right.
You have the smelly, cheesy feet.
So get ready. Start packing up your stuff.
Yeah.
Pick up your rubbish, please. Don't leave it for
the
staff to
entity
clean
to
up.
fucking clean up.
Yeah,
because the entity will Hunt
Oh,
you down.
damn, you don't want to know.
Hunt you down.
All right, so this is the third to last. So, playing a cliched character is fine. The edgy rogue and the noble paladin are tropes because they work and there's no shame in using them. And playing an anti-trope character doesn't automatically make them interesting. Just because your cleric is an atheist doesn't mean that they don't need an otherwise interesting personality. That doesn't mean that tropes can't be played poorly, because they certainly can. Also, it doesn't mean that you have to use a trope to make an interesting character. But I'm tired about complaints about cliched characters.
I agree.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
You can play a holy paladin.
Yeah.
Like a
yes.
holier than thou paladin.
Yes.
Super well.
Totally.
You
God,
can play
totally.
an edgy rogue
super well.
But at the same time, you can play a not edgy rogue super well. You can play a not holier than thou paladin.
Yep.
Also super well. The thing is, it just comes down to the reason.
Very much so.
It comes down to, why is your paladin holier than thou?
Yeah.
That's what's going to make them a great character.
Yeah.
Not the fact that they are holier than thou.
And I think the most important thing is the cohesion in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be the edgy rogue, but still go with the group.
Yeah.
You can be the edgy rogue and still want to stick with your party and get along with your party. You can be the holy paladin warrior who doesn't want to kill anyone who isn't holy as well.
And
you know what I mean?
You can be the holy warrior paladin that makes exceptions just for the group because they know who they are and they know that they're good at heart, but they do something that goes against their values, but they turn the blind eye this time.
And that's great role play.
That's great role play,
I think.
And yeah, it's like, you can play the edgy rogue, but why are they edgy?
Totally.
That's what makes the edgy rogue good.
And there has to be a caveat to it too. There has to be a, yes, they're the edgy rogue, but they trust the party. Yes, they're the edgy rogue, but they're not a murder hobo.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Being edgy and being a murder hobo are not mutually exclusive.
God, no, they're really not.
Like,
no.
It comes down to the reason as to why they are.
Yeah.
Holy and the paladins are fine.
Totally. I agree. I very, very much so agree. And even if you go down the route of them being a bastard because they're a holy paladin like we've always seen, I don't know what I was saying.
The dog nearly knocked the camera over.
Yeah. Don't know.
Back.
Couldn't tell you.
But I get it. I understand.
Yep.
And I agree.
Yep, I agree. And hey, oh my God, yes, they can be played poorly.
But
yes, they truly can.
Tropes can be played poorly.
Very much
and
so.
anti-tropes can be played poorly. Everything can be played poorly and everything can be played well.
Yeah.
It's not the tropes that make it good. It's not the anti-tropes that make it good. It's the reason.
Yeah, agreed. And hey, I'm a firm believer of, as long as your character can make an exception for whatever to get along with the party, then you're good. You're Gucci.
You're good.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think do you think this is unpopular?
Do I think this is unpopular?
I feel like this is a very level-headed way to look at things.
It's too level-headed to be unpopular.
Too level-headed, right?
It's too level-headed to be unpopular.
Yeah, I agree. It has to be, right?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. What do you think? Huh? Right. The light's coming on soon. This is the second to last, so get yourself ready.
You can see that it's drawing to a conclusion.
Yeah.
You got a tear in your eye.
Yeah.
And I would understand.
Yeah.
It's been an emotional time.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Yeah. All right. This is the second to last.
Let's go.
Being balanced around 6 to 8 encounters per adventuring day is narratively frustrating, tedious to run, and it robs the game of any ability to create frightening monsters. And when the first encounter of the day is a complete stomp, no matter what it is.
I, as a dungeon master, but because of the way I run a game, because I like a narrative-based game with danger along the way, I cannot see how the fuck you can write a story and have 6 to 8
We say this all the time, like to our friends, to just in general. I can't imagine. Because, 6 to 8 encounters per adventuring day isn't necessarily per session, right? But, even take that over like 3 sessions.
Like 2 encounters every single session.
Jeez. Without a long rest in between. How long? First of all, your games must go on for so long if it's done that way. But yeah, like tedious to run, agreed. Narratively frustrating, agreed.
It must interrupt every time there's like a story beat that's almost taking hold. It must interrupt it. Like if you maybe run like, because I've played in games that have gone on for like 8 hours, 9 hours and stuff like that. And that didn't feel so bad. But fuck me, I play for like 5 hours and I can fit one combat in there that takes maybe like, there's like one combat that might be like short and quick and it's obviously like not a super challenging one. It's
Yeah,
maybe to
yeah.
like show you a new monster or something like that, or a narrative sort of combat. And then there's like a big combat.
Yes.
That's about all I could ever fit into a session.
Yeah, I agree. I feel I can count that. I think there's been 2 times we've had 3 combats in one session. Like, and even it was like part of a dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
And it never really came to the conclusion of the dungeon crawl to the next session, if that makes sense. But 6 to 8 encounters a day. Again, like narratively, how do you
do that?
How do you narratively be like, God, we get in so much trouble. Us.
Yeah, and like they said, how the fuck do you make an enemy feel scary?
Yeah, I agree. Like,
you must be fucking cycling through monsters.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, for the DM, God, that must be so much work for the DM. Like, having to make six combats, less 8.
8?
I know.
8?
I know.
In a long rest?
Yeah.
God, how the fuck would you balance that?
How would you balance
Every
that?
enemy either has to fall over.
Yeah.
Or just be a hit point sponge that does no damage.
Yeah, like
if you make the first one tough, like they said here, if the first one's a rollover, like
on
the enemy's turn,
I know.
How are you gonna get through? It's a TPK.
And I also feel like at that point, right, you have so many combats today, and you know the first combat's gonna be like a rollover. Surely there would be a point where you would get to it, and you'd be like, "Well, here we go, the obligatory combat that we must do to start the day."
It's like, why are we having it if it's got literally no value to the point where we're like.
Yeah.
Then why are we doing it?
Does it get to a point where like you're kind of going, right, okay, here we go, the next and then the next. And you know, I'm picturing this as in cramming multiple into one session. I'm aware that it very well could be, you know, in between sessions, like one every couple of sessions. But then again, to me, that's very slow.
A day?
Yeah.
A day narratively in game, lasting like 4 or 5 sessions.
Too long for me.
Like, and I get sometimes, you know, we could maybe go a day that spans 2 to 3 sessions.
Yes. Max. Oh my God. Max.
Because you are going to spend those resources and you are going to be left with nothing.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But this is the thing. I've never understood this.
Yeah,
because
same.
I want combat to have not only like a danger, but a narrative purpose.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so much easier to tie in with less combats per long rest.
Like DMs who you do run like this many combats, how do you balance it? I like, that's a genuine question. How do you balance it? How do you have the time to plan that many combats?
They have to be doormat fights.
Yeah.
They have to be like almost 1-2 rounders max.
Yeah. But then again, I guess, you know, some people do turn up just to fucking kill the thing.
And that's fair.
Yeah. And, you know, it wouldn't work for us because we are very roleplay heavy.
And we're very story driven.
Very story driven.
And, you know, like that takes precedent over combat.
Yeah.
Combat is something, you know, that comes like with it.
Yeah.
But we care more about the story and the mystery and stuff like that.
And that's not to say like a game that runs like this isn't story driven,
it just
right?
must be really slow.
It must be really slow. Yeah. If you do run it like this, please let us know how you do it. This is so interesting to me. I don't know why. So interesting to me. Yeah, well.
Wild.
That was second to last.
Here's
all right.
The last one.
Here's the last one. The lights
credits
are on.
are about to roll.
The credits are rolling. All right. This is us talking to you as the credits roll. And
it's like that. It's like that little bit of a cinematic at the end of the credits.
yeah.
When you stayed long enough to see it.
Yeah.
That's this one.
But you've picked up your ice blast. You've got your popcorn. You've cleaned up your mess.
Yeah.
You haven't left.
You found your wallet and your keys.
Yep. You haven't left hair extensions on the floor. You haven't left your kids' nappies on the floor and handed it over to someone at the bar, mortified. That hasn't happened to me. Could you tell I worked in a cinema? So this last one. It's a stupid game that people take way too seriously. Grow the fuck up. You're all old enough to act your age. And that's the end of that. Goodbye.
Wow.
Listen, I just had to put that one
Grow up?
in.
Man, this is a game for grown-ups, I think.
I know, damn.
I think this is a game for grown-ups. It's very hard to play, and it touches very deep topics. I think it's a very grown-up game.
I know. Like, you know, it's a stupid game that people take way too seriously. Tell me you don't know anyone who plays D&D.
Yeah, tell me you just had a bad experience.
Yeah, tell me you had a bad experience. Yeah.
And you've been burnt by it.
Yeah.
And
like,
now you're just lashing out
totally,
on the internet.
Like, in all seriousness, D&D is something that people take so seriously because it is important. It's a way for people to express themselves. It's a way for people to live out fantasies they can't live. It's a way for people to see themselves in a different light, to work through things. Genuinely, it is so much more than just a game if you want it to be.
But at the same time, it is also just a way to have fucking fun with your mates.
Totally. Grow the fuck up.
Grow the fuck up.
Me.
You. Get out of the cinema and grow and think about what you've done.
All right.
Oh, well.
That's the end of that, innit?
Well, we're going to go on stream now.
Yes.
So come and join us on Twitch.
Yes.
Every Friday and
tomorrow.
every Sunday at 7 p.m. GMT.
We'll be live for you tomorrow.
Be there or be.
Oh, my God.
More like that. That's more of a square. That's more of a rectangle.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah. I don't want to see what you look like when you're a square.
Oh,
but,
no.
But I won't because you'll be there, right?
Yeah. Yes. Right? Oh, my God. Right? Please. Oh, my God. Right? Please turn up.
Okay.
Hope you enjoyed.
Pick up some threads. www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and pick up some new merch. Hellbound store is down below. All your D&D goodies from our Etsy store. Code Podblast will get you 10% off there. Homebrew Challenge is live.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you dare miss out.
Don't.
Sunday, it will be closing at 7 p.m. GMT because we will be reviewing all of your homebrew live on stream with the Squaddy Bees. So be there or be...
He did it again.
I did it. I hit you with it. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell to be notified when we load a video on a Monday and a Thursday. Comment down below.
What's your unpopular opinion?
What's your unpopular opinion? Give me all of your takes on these. I love you very much.
I love you.
Bully loves you. We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Monday.